Welcome back, everybody, to the Breakthrough Moment podcast. Deane here with good friend, business partner, Ashur Ellis, the one and only. This is going to be fun. How are you?
I'm excited. I'm pumped. I'm sitting in Berkeley, California at the moment. This is where many of the people I love most are. I feel pretty good.
Well, I'm not too far away, so we'll be catching up very, very soon down here in Mexico. But I wanted to invite you to the podcast. Two reasons. One, everyone listening, I want you guys to meet this amazing human, and I'd love for us to, dive into your story. Your background is incredible. You're a neurofeedback scientist and therapist and connection coach. Your parents were psychologists or are psychologists, and you bring such an incredible essence to the calls that we do. For everyone who doesn't know, we run a coaching program that helps with goal setting, time management, and accountability. We run online challenges and help people achieve their health goals, wealth goals, relationship goals in a really healthy, safe container. And I just wanted to dive into this, introduce you to the community, and to, yeah, share some incredible insights we've had around mindset, neurofeedback. What is that, by the way? And just open up this discussion because we're going to be doing lots more content over the next weeks, months, and years. So let's start there. What is neurofeedback? What is this? And then, yeah, let's jump into your biggest breakthrough.
Dope. So, neurofeedback is biofeedback for the brain. It's giving the brain a set of parameters that it gets to meet. Now, what it actually looks like is really cool. It you play a video game with your brain, basically. So you have electrodes hooked up to your head, and certain brainwave patterns are read, and the clinician sets parameters. I want more fast wave activity here, more slow wave activity here. And as your brain meets them, the video game progresses forward. So, like, the car will actually go forward. So you're sitting there and you're unconsciously playing a video game with your brain, rewarding it every time it meets the desired parameters. So it's a non-pharmacological intervention for ADHD, anxiety, chronic pain, sleep disorders, anything you would take a pill for. You could train yourself with neurofeedback um, to remedy. And it has some incredible results. I'm not here to poo poo on pharmacological interventions, but the efficacy scores are much, much higher with neurofeedback. Um, and yeah, I've been doing, I mean, both my parents started, they run the oldest practice in Kansas City. So I've been having my brain trained since I was 8 years old. And now I get to do it to others. And it's just this profound modality where, part of what's so powerful, and it happens in the work that we do, Zach, is someone gets validation for what their behavioral experience is like. So they might be like, I get distracted a lot. And I can look at their brain and say, wow, you have a lot of fast wave activity in the front. Like, it seems like, is it like moving through pea soup? Do you feel confused often? And they're like, yes, yes. And that's all we want. We all want to be met right where we are. So I get to meet people where they are and then say, yeah, there's a remedy for that. Let's do some training. So that's the neurofeedback side, and the connection coaching side is just a little bit. It's a little bit more in the like experiential human element. Let's connect with what it's like to be me, so I can connect authentically with you.
Super interesting. Super interesting. And I'm curious, what was your biggest breakthrough experience throughout your coaching career or growing up with your parents? Like, I'd love to dive into some of those breakthroughs.
It's like I've been holding space for people my whole life. So I'd say the breakthrough, like, there have been various personal, experiential breakthroughs, things I recognize in my own self awareness, things I recognize in my own self work that afforded me the capacity to be able to hold this for other people. But I would say some of the biggest recent breakthroughs are like all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, I can do this professionally. Like, these are the shifts I have to make to do this professionally. It's, actually, the funny thing is, hiring my own coach was probably a pretty profound step in me being able to hold the space. This is a few years ago, but I was like so nervous to like pay someone else to tell me what to reflect, and I paid someone and they showed me something that I hadn't seen, and I was like, "Oh, wow." And then I realized I had done that for so many people, and I was paying them a lot of money. So I was like, "Oh, I think I can do that for people." So then I went and got a certification. I got more training. I'm engaged right now in a year-long training. Like, it's just I've always been learning and growing and changing, but it's always been to what end. And I think the breakthrough moment too was like I started hosting activities like very cheap, very open, and then people were like, "That was profoundly impactful. Will you come do that at my wedding? Will you come do this here? Will you come hold professional space here?" And I was just like, "Wow, okay, yes." The answer is yes. And then I did what naturally flowed from me, and people liked it. So I got that feedback that was like, I can have a profound impact, and this is where it can be situated professionally. Um, yeah.
What was that moment where the coach was able to reflect something for yourself that you hadn't seen, and what is that? What does that actually mean for someone who maybe kind of what is a connection coach? Like how does that? What is that?
Well, two different questions. What he did for me is something, it was probably one of the biggest breakthrough moments because, Zach, it's what we do for other people too. It's one of them is moving you from abstraction, from concept, from thought and inaction into transformation, movement, progress through action. Like, let me be clear. The only thing that moves you from inaction and thought into transformation, into change is action. So that time was probably like talking to him and I'm like, I want this. And it was like, well, what are you doing to do that? And I was like, well, I'm thinking about blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, what are you doing? What are you doing tomorrow that would lead you to what you say you desire in a month from now? And I was like, oh my God, I have to actually, it takes action. And luckily, I don't have any bias. I'm biased towards action. I think of something now and I just do it. I'm like, oh, we should call those 10 people. Hello? Hi. Um, but that's like that moment was just such a profound breakthrough because now I can offer that to other people. Now I can offer them the guidance. And from the connection coaching side, I know what it's like to be a person who's not taking action and then to step into that action. I know the emotional burden there. And I can be with someone in the pain and the grief and the fear and the nervousness for like, oh my God, if I start doing this and I fail, or if I start doing this and it doesn't work, or if I start doing this and I succeed, my life's going to change. Like I can empathize with all of that. So now when we hold our groups, I can be like, hey, I'm noticing that I can hold a mirror up to that blind spot instantly. I'm noticing that you said you wanted this and you didn't do any of this. What's that like? Do you want that? Like, what's going on? And I can, with like a scalpel almost, like poke at that, like, you didn't do it. Why is that? And it's all because someone pointed out to me that I was talking a lot and not doing a lot.
One of the things I've noticed about your superpower in these events that I've seen you run in Puerto Escondido, whether it was the Shabbat events or our workshop that we did or the calls that we do, um, or the event that we did at the co-working space, is that you have this capacity to hold people's emotions and to have this incredible grounded level of empathy and connection to help them reflect in such a safe way. And so you mentioned that you had to kind of do that growing up, but how does someone start to develop that within themselves? Because I think that's an incredible skill, not just in our own emotional navigation of our own feelings, but also in relationships or business or family.
Now we're on to the connection coaching side. So I want to invite everyone out there to try this. First step, slow down. Just like whatever's happening around you right now, slow down. And the very first step is just notice what it's like to be you in that moment. So if you're sitting alone, you can just notice the sensations you're experiencing or noticing any emotions that are there, any thoughts, feelings, sensations that arise. But the next time you're with someone and they say something to you, and it could be something really sad, it could be something really, they could be angry, they could be frustrated with something. Before responding, just stop, take a breath, and notice what it's like to be you, and then share from that place rather than sharing from the place that wants them to feel better, like, or wants them to like you. It's just about slowing down, noticing what it's like to be you, and speaking from that place. So, like, if you're out there right now and you have a really hard conversation to have with someone, when you're having it, say what you need to say, respond, like, hear them, take a breath. Oh, I noticed that hit me really hard. I feel sad. I noticed this. Okay. And then share. Hey, I noticed that hit me really hard. I feel sad. I feel nervous to speak. I need another minute to think. Like, just share from that place. So, the first step, slow down, no matter what. And everyone can do it. It might be incredibly uncomfortable to do so, but everyone can do it. I was actually, it reminds me, I was leading a group. This is several months ago now. And I had promised, like, okay, guys, we're going to close the container. So it's a safe container. And then one of my friends wanted to join about 15 minutes late. And everyone was in breakout rooms. And I said, okay, like he came to join right when everyone was in breakout rooms. So I brought him on. I briefed him where we were at. I let him know people were in breakout rooms and they'd be coming back. People came back and I was like, I just want you to know I've allowed my friend in. He's done this work before. He knows if you have discomfort with that, please let me know. And because of the container I bring up, someone immediately was like, yeah, you promised you wouldn't let anyone else in. And they said this in a group of 30 people. So there's 30 people on this call. I'm meant to be holding the container. And he says, you've breached our trust. And I sat there and was just like, mm-hmm. And I could have been like, well, and instead I was like, I just looked at the camera and I said, well, ooh, I feel nervous now that you've said that. I feel sweaty. I feel like scared to that I've lost something. And then I paused and I said, and I hear your feelings. And for the sanctity of this group, and because I know him really well and I trust him fully, he's going to remain in the group and we're going to go on. And everyone was kind of like, oh, okay. And like I could feel everyone kind of settle. And we went on and we had an amazing call. But it's like, had I been like, well, I trust this guy, but like too quick, I would have lost that. I would have gone into the space of like reacting, not responding. And that's the distinction. When something comes up, see if you can respond rather than react. And responding takes slowing down.
Why do you think that process is so hard for people?
We're scared. We're scared of losing attachment. We're scared that if you're mad at me and I don't fix it right away, then Zach is going to stay mad at me and I will lose my connection to Zach. It's the scariest thing in the world. We're as scared to lose attachment as we are to lose our lives. And for many people, actually, the loss of attachment is the loss of their life. And for literally all of us, the loss of attachment did mean the loss of our life. As a baby, Gabor Mate describes it one way. He says, two core needs, attachment and authenticity. And they're on the same level. Then when you're a child and you're too loud or not loud enough, or you don't do well enough, or you do too much authentically, you start to fear that you're going to lose attachment. So you compromise your authenticity. Okay, I can be whoever you need me to be. So your attachment is supported. And it makes sense. We're brilliant children. It makes a lot of sense. Nice work, kids. But as adults, we can bring that authenticity back out. And by pausing and being like, oh, I really want attachment, expressing I'm really upset with you and I still love you, or like whatever the thing is in conflict, those two things can coexist now that we're adults. But yeah, that's why we're terrified. We're absolutely terrified of losing connection.
Fascinating. Fascinating.
Yeah.
So this is a great. I think the other part of it is, yes, acknowledging that kind of process. The other part of it is listening. And the other part of it is like, it's just practice. I've seen you do it now in the community aspect of what we're doing. I'm now seeing you do it and I'm like, oh, I can start doing that for other people. And it's such a powerful process that I feel like I've deepened my relationships with my family, my little brother, my mom, you know, other friends and business partners and things like, oh, business colleagues. I feel like it holds so much power to do that in what most people will pull away from, like connection. it actually creates a really nice way of leaning into that together, and it's a whole new level. So
And
why do you do it though? What's the
well,
why
just to be very
behind?
clear, right before that, it permeates every aspect of our lives too. In business, in personal relations, in romantic relations, in big logistical decisions, like noticing when you're afraid or when you're acting from that place, noticing it, accepting it, and then acting from a different place from choice impacts every element of our lives. And just to like another tool that's in there that I've done a lot of work with nonviolent communication, using that as a means. First, notice what it's like in you, accept that. I mean, my mom always taught me awareness, acceptance, action. So become aware of it, accept that it's happening, and then act from the place that you choose. And the way that you can turn what you're experiencing internally into the external world is through nonviolent communication. I notice this. I feel this. I want this. Will you do this? And that's it. That four-step process is like in a business negotiation, you could say, "Hey, I noticed when you gave that proposal that I felt really tight. In me, I feel like a tightness in my chest, and I'm nervous, and I have a story that like that's not going to work for me. What I want is this, this, and this. Would you be willing to sign the agreement under these conditions?" And if someone's upset with that, you say, "Great. I noticed when you responded to that, I felt this way." Like you just keep going with that four-step process because it keeps it centered on I, which is the only thing we know. If you don't learn anything in this podcast, learn this one thing. The only thing we know is I. We can make projections, guesses, assumptions about the rest of the world, but the only thing we know is I. So once you start sharing from your expertise from that place, you're literally the foremost expert in the world on that subject. So share from that place. I notice this. I notice this. Um, I cut you off. That was not your question. I got excited though.
That's such a great point that you brought up, this nonviolent communication. Which how did you study it? How did you come about it? Come across it through your parents?
I think it started in like 2014 or something. I went to a workshop in the Bay Area. There are workshops. Marshall Rosenberg, that's his name. Yeah, he's the original creator of it. I recommend reading his books. His books are excellent to give you kind of a practice in it, or at least an intellectual understanding of it. And then workshops, going to workshops where you practice it. It definitely bleeds into my training in the authentic relating world, where it's like, how can I experience what it's like to be me and communicate it to you out there? And nonviolent communication is just one of those tools. But I find it to be kind of the most direct and kind of the one that like bridges world. Like there's a little bit more like out there woo woo means of communication, but I find nonviolent communication takes place in the business world. It takes place in the interpersonal world. It can take place in all different languages, like because it's just an expression from the eye. But yeah, I think it started with workshops, and I was like, oh, I like this. And to be clear, just to like I grew up, there was some trauma in my home, substance abuse, other less like chaotic factors. And so I grew up really hyper vigilant of people's feelings, but I was also put into Alateen. It's a program for like the children of alcoholics. So at age like 9, I was talking about my feelings. So that helped for this process. You know, I was like, I'd sit in a room with other teenagers, facilitated by adults, and I'd get to say like, today I feel this way, and this is why. So I kind of had the like training early on. And then the NVC world was just a little bit like, here's a structure.
Wow. I don't know any. I don't know anyone who was. I guess I never was connected to them that went to therapy like that. But I guess as a child or teenager growing up, to be in a space to communicate, hey, I'm going through this and I'm feeling that. I didn't even know that existed. And even as an adult, where does that happen? Maybe in therapy and things like this, or even people must get through their whole life and not really have that safety to express how they're feeling. And it's no wonder people are reaching for those quick fixes or drugs or alcohol or whatever it is to numb that pain. Hey, um, super interesting. What is your why with?
Like
Yeah.
we could do that anytime. Like anyone listening right now, the next time you're feeling something, express it to the one person in your life, or one of the people in your life who, like, they may not be used to it. They could at least they're at least down to hear something from you, and just try to like, hey, I'm noticing I feel really sad. Don't fix it, don't change it, and just see what it feels like. To just, try it on.
It's been it's been a tricky thing to try on, to be honest, because I find some of the people that were closest to me growing up weren't able to hold their own emotions, let alone other people's emotions. And so there's been some conflict in like not having the capacity for themselves or capacity to hold what I'm going through. And then my challenge is holding other people in their emotion too. I'm like, this is a new thing, but it's a skill and it can be developed. And I
Yeah.
think it's probably one of the, if I could have a wish for the whole world, is this ability to express authentically and to be held in a safe place, or to have a bigger capacity to be able to feel confident enough to share what they're feeling without that judgment, because it's such a tricky thing. It's literally that fight or flight response, hey?
Mhm. And that moment, that fight or flight response moment, that is where, what if you make the choice to just slow down? And that's it. That's like the first step. Like the moment you notice, wow, they're not holding my emotional experience, or I'm not prepared to hold theirs. Instead of doing something about it, take a breath. I feel overwhelmed. I don't think I can be here. Oh, I can be here. Let me take another breath. Let me take another breath. Let me take another breath. Okay, what's it like now? Still scary, but like I can just tell them now, hey, I'm not sure that I can hold that for you. Or like I'm not feeling listened to. And there's just a lot of people express something thinking that they just need to express it, but they actually have an expectation that the other person can hold it. And that's a dangerous game. Like, what if you don't expect someone to hold it? You want them to, and you can be hurt if they don't, but you're not disappointed. You're like, hey, I really want you to listen. And they don't accept it. You could say, okay, I got to express it. I did everything within my power. Maybe I'll find someone who can hold it. Maybe I'll like, but yeah, don't hand someone else your power. Mm.
Oof, that's a deep one. Uh, why? Your why? Why do you do what you do? Why is this important to you?
I want, myself included, and everyone I know, to be as close to their authentic truth as possible, as often as possible. And the reason for that is because it feels the best. Like, I feel most alive when I'm being truthful and when there's truth around me. It's like, yeah, it's just like it's the aliveness that comes with being fully you. Someone could be mad, someone could be sad, someone could be like there, all sorts of experiences. But the aliveness that comes with being fully you is something I love for myself, and it's loved collectively. When I'm with it with someone else, it feels amazing. I mean, it's kind of like romantic love is just one kind of love, but if you've ever like sat with a partner and you're just like, I feel fully here with you. I love being here with you. Like, there's nowhere else where you want to be. It's almost like the rest of the world goes out of focus and you just see that person. I enjoy having that with strangers. I enjoy having that with all sorts of people. And it's just by slowing down, being able to presence myself fully, and asking them to presence themselves fully. It's just like this human dance. We get real deep real quick. I'm not sure that there's anywhere to go as humans. I think there's just this journey of some sort. And then maybe we do this journey again. I don't know about reincarnation, very possibly. But like, in this journey, I just want to be as close to that like raw experience dance as possible. And that's my why. Like,
And why is that important to you?
we have this finite container to experience life as it is. I want that container to be as pure, as clean, as unobstructed as possible. because that's how I've created my meaning. Like if life objectively has no meaning, which this is a very, very deep topic now, we got real deep real fast, and people might disagree, and I totally welcome that disagreement. But if life objectively has no meaning, then we create our own meaning, and my meaning is around getting as close to that raw, real connection as possible, feeling the emotions, the sensations, the thoughts as clearly as possible. It's like, yeah, if I was to go and find a pearl, it's like brushing off that pearl. There's no like, I'll die and I won't bring that pearl with me. But in life, I like want that pearl to be as like clean and pretty as possible, so I can admire it, so I can love it. It's kind of like why I care about physical well-being. Like, why do I care that my body's in good shape? Um, just because this is my vessel of experience, and I want my experience to be the cleanest, the most real, the most close. Yeah, I think that's my why.
Super
Not
cool.
I think.
Super cool.
That's my why.
And this is the unique thing about our connection. For those who don't know, Asher and I connected the 5th of January 2025. So just like 6 months ago. And we met at an event through a mutual friend, Rudy, who owns Viva Rays with his sister, and they have an amazing Blue Blocker brand. And he's invited me down to Puerto Escondido to do some goal setting. Asher shared day one, which was a reflective piece on 2024, and I kind of shared the goal setting. And we connected, and we not just had like an instant level of, I guess, friendship and mutual respect for each other, but we also had a similar vision, which was helping people bring their dreams to life. And shortly after that, we started working together on the Life Blueprint and built this amazing community around helping people, uncover the truth of their dreams and actually give them a plan to get there and hold them accountable in a really beautiful way and a fun way. And you weren't actually a goal setter before we met, is that right?
Yeah, I mean, if I was to share actually my breakthrough moment relative to
Yeah.
you and relative to the Life Blueprint, like so, like Zach said, I was leading the like reflective piece because a part of what I do is hold grief. I do like grief work with people, and there's grief. I said I was going to do this, or I thought my life would be here. I had this expectation, and it wasn't met, or it was met, and now I have to create a new one. And there's grief there too, and there's grief even if you're killing it, and everything you want is there because you've compromised or sacrificed everything that you don't have. And like there's an inherent grief in there. So I held the reflective container, which I'm great at and I get, and there's a human component. The next day, Zach was leading the goal setting, and I was sitting there, and it's just like, oh my God, this is incredibly overwhelming. And Zach, at that moment, Zach was like, hey, everyone, I know goal setting is boring, but like, stick with it. And I sat there and I was like, and I like didn't know Zach at the time really. We had met the day prior, but I kind of like was like, hey, I'm just a participant. I just want to be very clear. I could be projecting, but at least in this body, goal setting is not boring. It's confronting as fuck. Like I'm really scared. Zach was asking me what I wanted in 10 years. And I'm just like, wow, I noticed like my heart's beating faster. I noticed I could mess it up. Like, what is it that I want? This is terrifying. And I noticed how much slowing down it took to be like, what is the state that I want in this body? Oh, with slowness, it is kind of clear. Like I want to feel at ease. I want to feel successful. I want to feel content. I want to feel connected. I want to feel close to truth. Okay. So I know that. So then the next level up is like, what does that begin to look like? Oh, well, it means I have a house. It means I'm not worried about my bills. It means like, so like you start with the feeling and you build up. But that was like, I had never thought of, I'm really good in the feeling space. I'd never started that process of building up. It's like my feeling space wants me to have a nice house with like not worried about my bills. Okay, well, what does that mean monetarily? That might mean this much money per month. Like it's starting from there and moving up. And so Zach kind of gave me the tools. I mean, who I am in conjunction with the what Zach gave me the tools to start actually planning a roadmap to get to that feeling space or to maintain that feeling space. Um, yeah, and it changes. The context changes. I'm 35 years old right now. And what gave me contentedness, ease, success, connectedness when I was 25 is different than what gives it to me now, which will be different than what will give it to me when I'm 45. But it still gives me a roadmap to be like, well, there's my North Star. Success, connectedness, ease, peace. And so then I can start to fill in the blanks. And that was kind of my breakthrough moment. Yeah, I was not a goal setter. I had said I wanted things, but I had never written them down or created like a clear structure to get there. And then when I met Zach and he gave me kind of like his version, I was like, oh my God, this all coincides really beautifully. Like I can take this feeling and tell you that in 10 years I want this. So then just begin to think, what does it look like?
And the rest is history. You know, we work together every day for hours on end, building this incredible community and having such a great time and tweaking. You know, the question is, how do we help people unlock their dreams in the shortest period of time? And for someone, you know, like yourself who is such a new process, like a beginner in this goal setting process, um, the element that you bring into this process collectively, us, it's been amazing the breakthroughs that people are having in such a short period of time. But I would like you to share with everyone out there who maybe isn't a goal setter or maybe is just starting their goal setting journey. Do you have any advice for them?
Stay connected to your why. Like, don't lose your why. Like, this is just an exercise that we did the other day, but like, start with the feeling state. What do you want to feel in 10 years from now? And it might feel abstract. And I know we're talking about moving to the concrete, but just start with what you want to feel. And then allow the details to come into focus. For example, if you want to feel powerful and you want to feel like successful and at ease, and you sit in that feeling, and that feeling provides an image of a Mercedes, great. Set a goal to get a Mercedes. But don't go the other way around where you're like, I want to feel successful and success means, or like, I want a Mercedes and that means I'm successful. Don't like conjure up the image. Don't let the mind lead all of it. Let the heart choose the direction through relaxation, through ease, through noticing, and then let the mind do what it's best at, which is creating a set of logistical steps to get where the heart has chosen. So let your heart choose and then let the mind carve the path. I think that's like the big, like, actually, as I'm saying it right now, I'm like, oh, that's really good. I should write that down and I should but that feels really true to me. Allow the heart to choose and the mind to carve the path to get there. And a lot of people go the other way around. They're like, oh, Mercedes. I want a Mercedes. Why? I don't know, but a Mercedes is so cool. And I must be successful if I have a Mercedes. Yeah.
Totally. And the mind is caught in expectation, other people's values, the world, parents, what, like it can take us down a rabbit hole that maybe isn't in alignment. And that's no wonder a lot of the world is out of alignment, unfulfilled, feeling a sense of, yeah, lack, is that they've lost that alignment or that authenticity that you were talking about before. And so that is one of the biggest things that we do is this process helps people uncover what does it take for them to be more authentic and what's in the way of them being authentic and what do they need to do or receive or give in order to help them feel more authentic. And it's such a beautiful process. They say they did this experiment, they put someone in a Faraday cage which blocks out all frequencies, asked them all these questions, and allowed these participants to feel certain emotions. And it wasn't love that was the highest frequency, it was authenticity. And so whether it's sharing a story or going to the pits of a dark moment, or sharing a high celebration of success, that authentic expression is one of the most powerful, like most recorded and high frequencies we can be in. And so that's really what this program is about. And it's, you know, goal setting, time management, accountability. It doesn't sound very like wholehearted or wholesome. But when this whole process that we've created combines both of this heart and head element to help people have really big breakthroughs in a short period of time. And
Like when I think of accountability, what makes accountability powerful? Like, why is accountability powerful? Why do you think it's powerful?
Well, accountability is powerful because it helps people put a mirror up to what they're currently doing to help them see what they're doing consciously or unconsciously, that whether it's a blind spot or something they're really good at. It pulls a mirror up to their actions. Yeah.
Totally. And why is that mirror so effective? I mean, why don't you just use ChatGPT and your calendar to remind you to do things? Why is that mirror more powerful when there's a human?
It's not the same. There's like a level of authority or value or there's a dynamic that you can't get from technology.
What are the most important core needs in a human being? Authenticity and attachment. And it's combining those two that makes accountability so strong. This is what I authentically want. And I'm a co-regulatory being. My nervous system regulates with your nervous system. So if you are telling me that I'm doing right and we're in it and we're being authentic, we're not pumping each other up falsely, then all of a sudden my nervous system gets that boost of like, oh, I am doing it right. This like the right thing, the right path is defined co-regulatorily, like through people. Like I know I'm doing right when I can read from your nervous system, the mirrors you described. I know I'm doing right when your nervous system confirms that I'm doing right. That's what makes accountability so powerful when it's with another person. On the surface, it's like I want you to like me and you'll like me if I'm doing it well. But beneath that is really powerful truth that we like operate as a co-regulatory being. I need you to validate my existence. And so like, I'm in an AI learning lab, learning tools of AI. It's unbelievable, unbelievably powerful. I'm so happy, Zach, that our jobs will not go away with AI because there's nothing that AI can do that will simulate how my nervous system is a mirror for yours. AI can tell you, it can point out blind spots. It can say, you said you were going to do this and you didn't. I'm sure as AI develops even further, you'll get an AI agent that will remind you to do the thing you didn't do. But looking at your AI agent and saying, I didn't do it, is not as challenging or confronting. It doesn't bring up the emotional space as looking at a human and saying, I didn't do it. Zach, we could run separate businesses. Why do we run this together? The accountability and having a partner in a process is unbelievable. I'm totally happy to share profits if it means I can be held in community, in connection with someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Accountability is more than just a text or an AI
Not a
conversation.
reminder.
And the beautiful thing about this container is that seeing other people go through their own breakthroughs in the goal setting process, whether they set a goal and didn't achieve it, whether they set a goal and overachieved it, or the process that we're all going through as humans through this process, getting specific, taking action, acceptance, accountability, review, reflection. It's a very powerful and a very confronting process. I'm evolving so fast. We're evolving so fast. Everyone in this community is evolving so much faster than I thought as a result of the structure that we bring to this. And one of the main elements is this pain and pleasure element that we've added into it, which is helping people see, hey, if you achieve your goal, what's the reward? How are you going to celebrate? Hey, if you don't achieve your goal, how are you going to condition yourself through consequence so that you don't do that again? Why do you think that process has been so powerful? I guess also coming from a neurofeedback kind of
Well, yeah.
background.
I mean, from a psychological perspective, I mean, Pavlovian conditioning, Pavlov figured it out 100 years ago. Not quite 100 years ago, but like humans respond to pain and pleasure. Like reward and consequence are some of the strongest motivators you can experience. But the thing that humans have that dogs don't, or I would say many other organisms in the animal kingdom, in the biological kingdom, have is we have this capacity to choose. So the thing that's so compelling is like, I promise you, I can motivate a bunch of people using pain, Look at all sorts of experiments, all sorts like pain and pleasure, work. What is the human experience like when you can selectively choose to go towards what you want versus just avoiding what you don't? And so we use reward and consequence in the beginning to like set up that almost like the playing field. And then we teach to move towards the thing you want rather than away from what you don't want. But the mechanism to start with pretty often is what you don't want. And so what we work to do, Zach, and it was so intense last week. We had one where like I asked someone what their consequence would be, and they said expressing to their parent what they're doing in their life. And I was like, now imagine that. How painful is that? And they burst into tears. And I said, now, is there anything that you want as badly as you don't want that? And they're like, no, no. And I said, great. So that's where you're at right now. See if you can develop the image that you want so badly that you burst into tears. You know, that the quick illustration for it, everyone out there, take notes on this particular element. Your mouse in the middle. And over here is the cheese. And over here is a cat. And what we are very accustomed to is avoiding getting hit by the cat. Okay? What would it be like if you just start walking towards the cheese? The first thing to notice is one, if this cat is pawing at you, you can move here, you can move here, you can move here, you can move all over the place without progressing. Simply moving to avoid the cat. If you want the cheese, there's one direction to move in. This isn't progress. This is movement. You can spend your whole life moving. You know, if you truly want wealth, describe what you want with wealth and move towards it. It's over there. If you just don't want to be poor, go here. Try this to not be poor. Try this to not be poor. Try like there's all different ways to not be poor. So are you afraid of being poor or do you want wealth? And it's extremely confronting, but ask yourself, are you moving away from or towards what you want? Are you moving away from what you don't want or towards what you do? the and just to share the context, the personalized context, the most hard-hitting example for this in me was in romantic relationship. Was I running away from, was I afraid to be alone? Or was I moving towards a partner that I wanted? And for a long time, I was just afraid of being alone. So I'd be with someone who wasn't the perfect fit. And I'd be another person who wasn't the perfect fit. Yeah. Yeah. And so that element has been, people are listening to this are probably like, whoa, wow, I listened to a great podcast. And I heard, but like, turn this podcast off and sit with yourself and ask yourself, am I moving towards what I want or away from what I don't?
It's been interesting as well. The people in the container who are excelling towards their goals faster are those that are more associated with that towards aspect than those who are maybe motivated away from pain. Pain is a good way to get moving, but don't get stuck there. It's important to go, hey, what is that vision, and keep focusing on that. I think that, from what we've seen, is a big defining factor in someone's long-term success, and also just their own self-esteem and their own ability to consistently complete week after week these new goals. And it's
You know,
exciting. It's really exciting to be around a community like this.
and that's a powerful thing to ask. Like, if you're out there and you're like, oh, I'm making a ton of money, I'm doing great. Ask yourself if you are moving towards what you want or if you're simply avoiding the thing that you don't. Because you might walk 30 steps in this direction to avoid this thing. You might be getting plenty of money. But if what you're doing to get that money is not aligned with your heart, are you walking in the direction that you want? And it might be. Maybe you choose to work a job that you don't particularly love, but yields tons of money because what you desire more than anything is to buy a house for your family and live in the woods. Great. Do that for 10 years, buy that house. But just ask yourself, like, just because you have these classical measures of success, are you moving towards the vision that you want?
For sure.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're out there and you're like earning a ton of money doing something, but it's not aligned with your heart or you've lost your why, this program is perfect for you, by the way. Yeah.
To help people understand what it is that we do, we have a model. We have a triangle model that helps to articulate exactly what it is that we do. Do you want to take everyone through that?
Yeah. I think it. Let me just draw. Let's see if this works like this. It's going to be a very basic drawing. But yeah, basically, we've got this cool triangle. And in that triangle is what you want. Whatever you want the most. And so remember, begin with that feeling state. So it might be ease, it might be success, but you develop that clearly. So it might be a feeling state followed by like a big house. I think I want to live in Australia, by the way. I love it there. So like mine might be a big house in Australia where I can live my daily life and I get to go scuba diving or snorkeling in the meantime. Then you have the things that are keeping you from it. The content might be different for different people, but what those things are almost ubiquitously is a lack of clarity, lack of community, and then taking the wrong action. So you have what you want, and what's stopping you? One, you're not
Come up a
totally
bit
clear on
closer.
it.
Here we go. Yep.
One, you're not totally clear on it. Number two, you're taking the wrong action. You're afraid, you're distracted, you're not seeing it. And number three is you just don't have support to do it. You don't have someone co regulating with you. You don't have someone telling you, hey, you've got this. You don't have someone being that mirror. And so that's where we come in. We saw these are the three things that stop people almost every time. So what we provide is a foundation call to give you clarity. This is where we drop in with you one on one, very, very close. And we're like, what is it that you want to need in your life most directly? And we get you into that feeling state and we have you identify with it and we stick with you till it resonates, till you have a vision that makes you cry. Not what you're avoiding, but what you're going towards. Then we give you community. We're here. We've got 3 calls a week. We're here. You can reach Zach and I in the off time. We give you community. Sorry, my handwriting is terrible. And number 3, we help you strategize. We give you a plan that works for you, that gives you a set of daily actions. So the intention here is you taking the wrong action, we give you a way to break through it to get to what you want. You don't have community, we give you community to do what you want. My camera keeps moving. Last but not least, you're lacking clarity, we give you clarity to break through. So we take all of the components that are stopping you from getting what you want and we clear out the fluff. We clear out the stuff that distracts you, the things that you're afraid of, and we're with you every step of the way. So it's kind of like, what do you want in the middle? What's stopping you? How to break through those walls. And it's taken a while, but we've kind of figured out like what's stopping you. And then we give you a tool to break through it. And most often it's fear, distraction, lack of community, and lack of clarity.
That's it. And I think a lot of people, based on the last couple of years, been disheartened or kicked down, failed, had a lot of challenges. But the real tragedy in life is not getting back up. For one, is yes, we're all going to get hit down, we're all going to fall into the gutter, but it's how many times can we get up? And then secondly, once we start setting goals again, it's like, are you going to set a goal just big enough that you can't, like, that you achieve it? Or are you going to set a goal like super out there and maybe just come close, or maybe you might not? Either way, they said the biggest tragedy is not setting a goal and not achieving it. It's setting a goal too small and actually hitting it. And so I think right now, with where the world's been the last few years, it's time for people to dust off the dust or the cobwebs from their own vision, their why, reconnect to a community, themselves, their authentic vision again, and to have a structure. And that's what we have with the Life Blueprint. It maps out definite aim, values, 10-year goals, 1-year goals, 30-day goals. Why do you want them? Who can support you? Right? What are your next steps? What are your
And how are
blocks?
you going to get there? Yeah.
And how are you going to get there? And it's like, imagine if someone sat you down 10 years ago and said, hey, what do you want in all areas of life in the next 10 years? Got you super crystal clear, and then held you accountable every day, every week, every month, every quarter, every year for the last 10 years with those goals. I can guarantee anyone's vision and goal setting in their life would be completely different. And so if you've never had anyone in your life sit down with you and plan this out, not not from a place of away from pain, but from a place of towards pleasure and towards opportunity. This is what we're creating here, and it's a community of other people who are like, what else is possible? How can it get even better than this? And yes, some of those visions are crazy. Like, how do we do that? But never underestimate the power of a small group to work together, because it's typically the thing that's changed the world. And so why not? So we'd love to invite you guys out listening. If you're listening out there, invite you to our online challenges that we're running throughout the months. And we've got quizzes to help you understand your goal setting archetype, right? We've got webinars out there to help you understand how help you craft this process to begin for free. So if you're out there, check out our website, thelifeblueprintsystem.io, and we look forward to connecting with you and having you on the inside the community to try. We do a trial for 7 days. Come try it out. Come get clear. Use the structures. We'll hold you accountable. We'll breathe life into you. We'll celebrate you. We'll hold you throughout the challenges and the deep sense of failure at times. And come have a lot of fun with us. So,
And just
any
ask
final?
yourself, what do I want? And what's stopping me from it? And if you're ready, only come if you're ready. I only like playing when people are ready. Yeah. Thank you, Zach.
You're welcome. Thank you. What an epic story you've had, and we've got an amazing story that's unfolding. My last couple questions for you of the podcast and would be if you could challenge everyone who listens to this, a certain challenge, something they should do today, this week, this month, this year, what would be a challenge you'd want to impart or suggest for them?
I mean, step one, the most confronting. I mean, I said step one is slow down, but in that slow down, ask yourself what you want and what's stopping you from getting it. You know, and be really honest. This is where I work with a lot of people who say they want all sorts of things. You know, especially a lot of entrepreneurs who are like, I'm gonna have 3 houses and I'm gonna have 5 kids and I'm gonna have 7 dogs. And I'm gonna travel every month. And I get them to pause and I say, does that sound like what you want? Do you want 6 kids and 7 dogs and to travel every month? Like when I think of that in my body, it sounds exhausting. So start to actually get with yourself. You know, I know in my body and heart and soul, I've really been reflecting on whoa, I think it's time for partnership, not companionship, not lovership, like committed, trusted partnership. And there's mourning there, and there's grief, and there's excitement. But I have to ask myself, holy shit, am I ready to give that up? Give up whatever would be given up? And so I just invite everyone to ask themselves that sincerely. And then see if you can construct what the next step is. Because this is as you're talking, Zach, I had a moment of being like, mindset coaching is all about shifting that mindset. But if you don't concretize what you need to do next, it stays in the abstract. You know, if someone tells me that my goal is to be joyful and successful and present at every moment, and that's their goal for the week, I would say, great. What does that look like? Start to build the concrete side of what that looks like. Because if you don't build that look like, you don't have a benchmark. Like, I actually want to say, Zach, in our work together, I'm so happy we've set benchmarks. Because otherwise, especially those of us who are high achievers, would just be like, if we set abstract goals, we'd make progress and then be like, well, I'm still not there yet because I said I'm going to be successful and at ease and present at every moment. What the hell do those mean? Successful has a monetary value to it and a number of people that you interact with and a number of interactions and a number of events. And present has a number, like a quality of connection. How many people are you going to call your closest people? Like, give a quantity to it. Make it smart. Make it concrete. Because if you don't do that, you're going to just like keep setting new benchmarks for yourself without noticing it, and you'll never be able to celebrate where you've gone. So that's coming from someone who didn't set goals. So now my goal is I'm going to have this level of success by next month. I'm going to enroll 15 more people. I'm going to have X number of dollars coming in. I'm going to profoundly impact 20 lives. Like that way I can say, holy shit, I did it. Profoundly impacted 20 lives, enrolled 15 people, and I make this much money. What's my next goal? So to simplify, pause, slow down, and ask yourself, what do I want and why do I not have it? Number two, create a set of concrete steps to get it. And number three, just start. Just start. Just do it. What's step one? Just do it right now. And I highly recommend for 98% of people out there, joining our program would help you do all three of those. For 2% out there, you might just need to hear this, then go do it. Go do it on your own. We don't want you in the program. We want you to be killing the game all on your own. So step zero for most of you is join our program. Yeah. You know, there's another thing that occurs to me. I came out here to California for a wedding. And I just want to invite everyone too, as just an additional challenge. Can you take note and be honest with yourself about all the areas of your life where you're driven by comparison? You know, a brilliant philosopher and writer once wrote that comparison is the source of misery. And so just can you take note of the areas in your life where it's comparison to others that is driving you, that is driving your desire to earn money or get married or whatever it is? Just take note of it and notice and see if that's what you want to be your engine. You know, it certainly has an impact. Being here at a wedding is hard. You know? But I'm like, okay, wait, I see that. Am I going to go somewhere else when I'm not at a wedding and not feel this? Or do I feel this yearning, this like burning sensation in me that wants this thing? You know, I talk about the distinction between impulse and intuition. Impulse is hot and fast and loud and urgent, and intuition is slow and cold but persistent. It's like, I want partnership. I want partnership. I want partnership. I want to be in a house. I want to trust my partner. This one is like, oh my God, people are getting married. Are you not going to be married? Are you going to die alone? Should you like, and so just see if you can begin to see the distinction. Well, now that we've given away our entire system for free, Zach.
What a fun conversation. What a fun chat. We've gone so deep. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for showing up. So great to meet you and so many amazing adventures to come. I want to acknowledge you for the facilitation that you hold within our community and the breakthroughs that, you know, are unfolding within our own business behind the scenes. We're a startup. We're figuring things out. But I know that the service, the product, the coaching, this thing that we're creating for people is is a one of a kind. Is of one of a kind. We've been around this work for a long time, and I think your parents were practitioners, and mine are as well. And when you think about it, we've brought over 30 years of experience, really, each to this. So I'm excited to meet all the new people. To all the new people, click on the link somewhere around here. Follow Ashur. Follow our page. Come join a challenge, and we look forward to helping you ignite that fire again in your belly towards your dreams, goals, and aspirations in an amazing community. So, any final words, Ashur?
Yeah, I think I just want to emphasize like someone once said it about us, Zach. They're like, you hold the objective side of goal setting incredibly well, and I hold the subjective side of goal setting incredibly well. And so, yeah, just want to encourage like this. The life blueprint is like the baby that Zach and I birthed and we hold. Credit is due to the structure to Zach, but like this movement that we're building is like the baby we birthed together. So if that's of interest, this type of clarity, like this type of consistency, this type of movement forward, please, 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 please reach out. And if you want to connect with me individually, connection coaching is what you're keenly interested in, or you have an event and you need a facilitator to hold authentic relating, um, this deep circling practice, or something other, please reach out to me on the Instagram, Ashur Ellis specifically. And I wanted to say, Zach, this is my, I just like, got out my business card for connection coaching, and I just like, this image is like what we do. It's like what we talked about, and I didn't realize the crossover. So like, yeah, allow the heart to guide your direction and the mind to carve the path. It's like maybe this should be our new symbol for the life blueprint. Um, so just a funny moment. But that's all. I'm thrilled to be here. I'm really excited for the challenge. One of them starts this Sunday. We'll have more, but like really excited for folks to join out.
Super exciting. The head and the heart. Let's connect it together, everybody. It's tricky to do it by ourselves, so let's do it together. Thanks for watching. Share this with someone else out there. Let's build this community together, and I'll see you next time on the podcast.